Hello, besties. It's I, your internet father Weaver. How you doing? I just realized that I did not like the lighting, so I switched from the up overhead to the side one. Hope it makes my face look good. But I have a very important thing to tell you today. I finished writing a 4-book series. Um, Yay! Um, and the principal drafting of Bodega Cat is done. I know where I wanted to go with the ending about a week ago. And then I just finished. If you've listened to Demon World Boba Shop books 3 and 4, you might understand kind of how I put this ending, but it's meant to be kind of an open-ended ending. I don't think I'm gonna go back and revisit it right now, but like you can kind of get a sense of what Bagel's gonna do next. Spoilers: the main character is alive at the end. Um, we'll see. Um, so I'm going to talk to you about what I learned writing my second 4-book series, and that is a lot. So let's talk about series length. I thought that this could be a 12-book series. I don't have the juice for that, right? So in order to advance the series, you have to keep basically throwing problems at the characters for them to solve. And I'm like, he's solving all these problems, right? And then there's like entanglements, there's stuff that happens, like he has to do more. He has to negotiate things with these 2 other gangs, because apparently, right, gangs. Um, what am I doing? Who knows? But like, I really thought, like, theoretically, this could continue on for 12 books, and he could just each book could be focused on him acquiring another borough or acquiring another block. Right. So like spoiler, by the end of the first book, he has a single building, maybe 2 or 3. By the end of the second book, he has like the whole block. By the end of the third book, he has like 2 or 3 blocks. And then by the end of book 4, he has like the whole neighborhood. So you can kind of see what the progression would be. But I think that I tapped that well for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to the dev editor, the whole series, and then I might chop it up and make it 3 books. Who knows? Because here's what happened: the first book was 80,000, second book was 80,000. They both had nice endings, right? Third book was 80,000. The fourth book was like 60,000, which I don't want um, to have like three books on someone's shelf and then for them to all be like, why is the fourth one so short? I will do some more editing. I'll do some work. I will probably move some plot lines around. I will probably add some detail because I don't know if I resolved the Ashley and Kate plotline satisfactory because they are split up at the end. But it's like a big battle scene and they're 2 different. Anyway, um, Ashley and Kate are gonna be fine, probably. But I think that the takeaway for me is that I'm only gonna do like a trilogy at a time, or I'm gonna do companion novels for a little bit until I find something that like I could like really like spin out. Because like the blood rights thing that I'm writing, that I'm going to start principally drafting today. I'm on chapter 3. Is going to be a romantasy series where it goes from one couple to another couple, and they're going to be interconnected, but like they're not. It's not going to be the same kind of plot. I think there's going to be a meta plot at the end about the parent teacher association or like the outcry about the schools. Um, but I think like following like one character through its trilogy, that's enough. That's fine. I can do a trilogy, which is kind of what I'm going to do with. If I finish Blood Rights in the time that I want to finish it, I will start another series. It'll be a 3-book series because Blood Rights I'm going to do standalone. I'm going to see how that does. I'm going to rush that to publish, dev edit. It's going to go to dev edit, wife edit, which is not a thing unless you don't have wife, and then it's going to go out. Bodega Cat, I don't expect to make it till next summer because I'm working on Caravan dev edits I have a lot of I have a lot of dev edits I had to go through, or stuff that's pending dev edits. Where was I with that? So I enjoyed this series. Thematically, there's two major themes you might glom onto that I love. So existential risk and found family. Existential risk is the anxiety or the impetus behind like stopping things like climate change, um, that would be like the end of humanity or like the end of like someone's existence, even if they're going to die anyway, like of their species existence. Because the squirrels and the cats and the pigeons are all very concerned about humans not giving them citizenship or the citizenship equivalent, so they have no way to like live in this new world, even though they are now sapient and they are now strong deck bearers. Existentially, like the humans could wipe them out because they're tiny guys and they could just they don't band together, right? Hence, they join gangs or investment firms or gangs that are investment firms. In the case of my main character, and the other theme is found family because Bagel was a bodega cat who didn't really live with a family. He just lived at the store. And even though he felt like that kind of like passing love from people who like give him head pats, he didn't have like someone strong there, except for the workers who were legally required to be there, basically. And it's different when someone's legally required to be at your place of work. Coworkers are great. Don't get me wrong. I have some coworkers I love. I literally wrote a gamer manager inspired by one of my coworkers, by Kathy. I don't think you're gonna watch this, but coworkers are great, but they're not a substitute for the actual family, who will be there, actual good family, not like abusive family, right? That's the other thing. It's like found family sometimes deals with problems about like not having a good family or like having a not present family. This is just like the correct family, like delicious. This is dealing with the theme of I didn't have a family before, and now I'm kind of establishing it, and that's kind of like where I ended it. Um, the two themes of like existential risk in one scene, pin it over, and found family there. So like he's fighting, and then he's realizing that the little fortress he's building, kind of a microcosm of what he wants to do to Manhattan, and then he can finally see what he needs to do. And it doesn't really matter what the squirrels want as long as they work with him to keep Manhattan safe because he wants to be safe, and at the same time he wants to have that family. And those are two separate things that he can have together, but he can't have the family if he can't keep them safe. And he's also just a cat with magical powers. But you know, that's what you do. It's what you do. Um, and then I think that I really enjoyed writing this. Um, it's going to get a lot of change in the dev edit, and I did do like a big old um, work through the ending. I'm not satisfied with the ending right now, um, but I don't know what else it could be. And I think that it's better to just have an ending that is sufficient than to like try to reach for something, right? Because I had it end at a natural point. And if you're reading between the lines, you could see what he would do next. But I don't know if I want to. Like, I could return to the series and write books 5, but I don't know if I have the juice, right? I don't know that there's that. And this is a fever dream, and I'm trying I'm trying to sell some books. So like it's a comedy also, but like I'm trying to sell books and like people like human protagonists or humanoid. And I don't know how well this is going to go on Amazon. If it does well, like maybe I'll go back and revisit it because I am intending to write a book in the same world next summer, potentially. I want to write a parenting book, like apocalypse system apocalypse parenting book, with a dad and a mom, and like maybe one child. We'll see. Um, I don't know if I've talked about this, but like I like the system in Bodega Cat. I would just do it in um, my idea is that it's a Indian American and a Korean American couple, so it's multicultural. They're bringing they're bringing their child, probably a son, around 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. It'll probably depend on how my kids are, because I'm going to reflect that in the thing. They're bringing them back to India or Korea to visit the family, and I'm like, is it more likely? So like, this is where I'm like, I have a lot of Korean American friends. I have a lot of friends that are Indian from India. I have a few that are from America, and I'm just thinking about the logistics of like how that would work, and I'm gonna have to like talk to them about it. Like, how would this work out? I have the feeling that like they would only go to India for a good reason, and then if the system apocalypse hit during that, that would just be like, can you imagine that argument? Like, I didn't want to go to India to meet your family for whatever, and then she's like, I couldn't have predicted a system apocalypse. Like that would be epic, at least for me. And then the kids there just like, Mom, Dad, can we just do this dungeon? And they're just like, yeah, sure, 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 Rajesh, let's just do the dungeon. I feel like that'd be hilarious, but also like I'm kind of leaning towards more cozy. So right now I'm kind of undecided if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to do a supremely cozy board game shop, um, lit RPG, or a board game shop, right? Which might be a deck builder. I don't know. In the comments, let me know what you think. But I had a blast writing this series. Um, I love the artwork that Ivan did. I'm actually thinking of putting this as literary fiction and then seeing how that goes. Even though people feel like it's genre fiction, be like, don't you understand the complex dualities of man as mirrored through the pizza rat mob, my friend? The pizza rat Rob is in all of us, and that's why I like this series. I like the series because they're doing such like heavy, like emotional lifting, and I am just like having a ball, like doing these running jokes between characters. Um, yeah, let me get some statistics here before I leave, and let's go bright screen. So I started writing Bodega Cat in, where's, pretty sure I started writing it in December, and then, all right, so Bodega Cat I wrote in January, February, March, April. I was done in April, and then in volume 2, I started in April. We were from April, May, June, and July. Volume 3, I started in July. I wrote from July, August, and September. September, I wrote 5,000 words of volume 3. I need to turn that blue because I finished that. Boop. And then in volume 4, I wrote 42,000 words last month and about 12,000 this month. I'm going to have to add some more. I need to add some more B plot in there, but that'll be based off of the dev edit notes. It's a little short for a book for me. 55,000 words. Which is about 84,000, 75,000. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I want them to be longer, but like I kind of have a set point where I finish them. But thanks for listening. In the comments, let me know if I should write the board game cozy as a deck builder, or if I should write this parenting one, which I don't know if I have to choose for that. We'll see. Because I want it to be cozy, and I want it to be funny. All right. But thanks for listening, besties.